has the rails, Jalen has the shotgun, T1 only needs 3.
3 kills to go to crown our championship. Let's make it 2 now with App's next pickup. Mason will exchange that back out here, but there we go. 59's been found by Jalen. App and Hup going down, but once again, Jalen seals the deal for T1, and they are your 2022 Splitgate champions.
Man, that must feel so...
And there it goes. The winning moments of the last Splitgate Pro Series tournament. Before the game is ceasing new content, and 1047 shifts their focus to a new game. Big congrats to T1, even though I lost all my channel points going all in on Space Station. At least if your org didn't acknowledge your win, you at least made this poor League of Legends fan's tattoo make sense. I have been playing arena shooters for a very long time. My first arena shooter ever was Halo 1 and 2. I played it at my cousin's house in 2004. Afterward, because I owned a PlayStation 2 instead of an Xbox, I cut my teeth on Unreal Tournament and Tribes Aerial Assault. When I eventually got enough money to buy my first PC, I played a lot of Quake 3, Tribes Ascend, Team Fortress 2, and Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. Eventually in 2009, I got an Xbox 360, and when that happens, you become one of 2 kids. You become a Call of Duty kid or a Halo kid. I was a Halo kid, obviously. Halo 3 and Reach were probably the most time I ever spent on any Xbox 360 game ever. When Titanfall came out, I thought that game was the second coming of Christ, which... as it turns out, that actually belongs to the sequel, Titanfall 2. That game is the second coming of Christ. And when Overwatch was in its prime, I played the shit out of that as well. Like everyone else in the world. And what I have learned in my 20-ish years of experience with arena shooters is that the most important thing in arena shooter is not the guns, it's not the pro scene, it's not the graphics, it's not the aesthetic, it's not the soundtrack, unless if it's Doom 2016. What the most important thing in an arena shooter is player agency. So what do I mean by player agency? What I mean is open-ended tools that, in the context of FPS games, allow the player to shoot the man however they want in their shoot the man game. A lot of people have nostalgia for the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 series. The remake of that blowing up should be evidence enough of that. I was never a fan of any of the Modern Warfare games. They are the literal definition, and I mean literal definition, of a shoot the man game. You run, press the left trigger, and press the right trigger. Shoot the man. Every arena shooter that I mentioned before has some sort of open-ended tool that allows the player to shoot the man however they want. For Quake and Tribes, it was movement tech that gave you control over where you wanted to be on the map and how fast you could get there. For Halo and Unreal Tournament, it was creative weapon variety. For Team Fortress 2 and Overwatch, it was about loadout variety and synergy between team loadouts. And for Titanfall, it was all of these things. Splitgate, through its one gimmick, has given me more control over my FPS experience that I have felt in any shooter ever. Sure, there are optimal portal routes, default setups, and places where you should be portal blocking, but while all of these things are standard, you don't have to do any of them. As long as there's a blue wall, you can approach your opponents from anywhere. You want to sit back and portal peek on the backboard and impact? You can do that. You want to try a momentum melee using the speedrun aerial on Olympus? You can do that. You want to immediately peek out and take pot shots on mid and Atlantis off the rip for like 20 seconds? Literally every time? Well, I mean, you can do that, but I'm just gonna do this.
1. Team Deathmatch.
This one gimmick allows you to play the game how you want to play it, and to some extent, it can be competitively viable. I can remember the first time I learned how to triple portal. The moment you learn how to zip from red spawn in Oasis to blue spawn in like 3 seconds flat is an incredible feeling. And while I was running like Ring Around the Rosie on upper level in Stadium, only to miss my carbine shots, pros were pushing this game to the absolute limit. Triple portaling, and more specifically pixel walking, were originally used in the speedrun of Portal 1. And I bring this up because it's not necessarily rare, but it is uncommon for a game to require you to use speedrun tech to compete at the highest level. In Quake it was a thing, in Titanfall 2 was a thing, and it was most definitely a thing in Apex, mostly because of Titanfall. But if you think about popular esports right now, there might be movement tech per se, but rarely does it come from a speedrun scene. Sure, CSGO pros can b-hop a little bit, but if it was completely integral to accessing bomb sites faster, Foon would have been a pro. So great, you have a fancy little portal gun on your wrist and you can use it to dunk on kids online. But what about this mechanic makes it any different from mechanics in the aforementioned FPSs? Well, allow me to point you to a moment from the Splitgate Pro Series I like to call the aim assist shuffle. And no, nobody else calls it that. Most likely you already know about this clip if you're watching this video, but allow me to paint a picture here. SBS Winter Season 2022, Day 5, third game of the day. Aim assist versus Bork. Bork at this point were ranked 5th with a 2-2 record, and had an opportunity to get a win under their belt before they would have to go up against the powerhouse Portal Demons, who would eventually become T1 and this particular season's champions, and the mid-card team turned Dark Horse team No Sleep, which would eventually become Space Station Gaming and the winner of the next season. This would essentially relieve them of any possibility of slipping below the relegation line by letting them sit firmly as a mid-card team, even with 2 more almost guaranteed losses. Aim Assist, on the other hand, were ranked 7th, had a 1-3 record, and were below the relegation line. Not only that, but they would be facing the team on the top side of the relegation line next week, Little Gremlins. If they lost this game, they would have to try and stay alive by map win percentage and a win next week. Which, getting both wasn't likely, seeing as how Little Gremlins would take a map off of the previous season's champions, WGL, in the very same day. Big stakes for both of these teams going in, and boy did they play like it. Look at these scores. Tied 2-2, the last map was Domination on Abyss. Mind you, pre-season 2 Abyss. Now, I don't have any actual data to back this claim up, I could be completely wrong, but old school Abyss felt, if not smaller, at least a little bit more symmetrical and less complicated. Rotations felt faster on the older version of this map, in my opinion. I don't know if that's just me, but I think if there wasn't any credence to that statement, they wouldn't have updated the map. I bring this up because of the last 3 minutes in this game. Bork at this point had worked their way into a pretty solid tempo on the map and basically had the game in the bag. But with 695 points out of 700 to go, they lost 1 team fight, causing Aim Assist to get a triple cap. But don't panic, you're 120 points up, there's 3 minutes left on the clock, and all you need is 5 seconds on 1 point. Easy day, right?
They haven't allowed Borg to have one, but they haven't been able to get the triple cap under control either. A and B held, a constant struggle battle over C is ensuing. 600 points now broken by Aim Assist. Are they about to do the run of a lifetime?
but Aim Assist still has A and B. One hill is no longer enough for
way!
They turn it around! What? Aim Assist!
Let's take a look at what's really going on here from Aim Assist's side. Chloe, I'm stealing your footage. After the triple cap, Aim Assist takes point on all 3 points and rotate in a circle simultaneously, thus taking the space that they lock down with them through the portal. Name one other arena shooter where you can do that. And it would be amazing on its own if this was a one-off play. But just looking at SPS alone, there are a ton of amazing moments like this. The K-Jules flying 3-piece at the G4 Invitational, the WGL launch season run, the bracket reset from X-Set in the summer 2022 Grand Finals, the mid-map slingshot melee from Endo during the Luminosity showcase. Mind you, this is a 1047 employee hitting this clip, a former pro who had been called washed. Apparently, this is what a washed player looks like. But let's not forget my personal favorite clip of all time. Get out.
One dead!
Going back to A now.
I'm going to A!
Both hurt on A, both hurt on A. Tank up.
No!
Nice, good shit.
Go B, go B, go B, go B, go B.
Hold AC, hold AC. We're good. I'm on B, I'm taking B.
Come here, fucking pussy! Come here!
Let's go.
Out! Get out!
So much better.
Out!
Let's go.
You shitter!
And these are just the clips from SPS. There's probably a bunch of Challengers clips that weren't even recorded that would have been equally as amazing. And this kind of stuff is not exclusive to people who are the best at the game. It doesn't matter if you're competing at the highest level like these dudes were, or just some pub scrub like me. These kinds of moments happen almost every game you play. It's the kind of thing that gets me excited to grind the game. Because the better at this game you are, the more fun you have. And sure, you can apply that logic to any competitive game, but getting better in Splitgate doesn't mean you're getting better than other people. It means you're acquiring more tools in your wheelhouse to have fun in different ways. It's the kind of thing that makes me excited for all the new content they're putting out. So this is the part where we talk about why I'm making this video. So yeah, 1047 wants to put all their focus into Splitgate's sequel. And I'm very glad they're not completely abandoning the game, meaning we will still have the weekend, limited time modes, and there'll be community map support, I believe. But it sucks that they're ceasing development, especially right as it felt like the community was just starting to solidify and grow again. But I understand why. Ian Prue and Nicholas Begamian created Portal Wars as a college project under a development team of 2 people. And it kinda shows. After they brought in a proper back-end section to the dev team, it was apparent that there were a lot more issues in the back-end than just lack of server space. It almost felt like for every one thing they would fix, another problem would pop up. It is clear that 1047 built a beautiful mansion on a foundation filled with lots of cracks. And if you want to add new features, new ideas, and overall grow your game, you need a solid foundation. And with Unreal Engine 5 releasing just last April, and with all its insane capabilities, it makes more sense to pour a new slab and build a new mansion than to rip the foundation out from under the old one. So am I done with this game now that there's no new content? Am I just gonna sit here and twiddle my thumbs until Splitgate 2 comes out in 2024? Well, the answer is no. Because I don't think I can quit this game. Splitgate has been my comfort game for well over a year and a half now, and I haven't been able to replace it. I've tried Shatterline, I've tried Valorant, I've tried Gundam Evolution, I've tried Overwatch 2, much to my disappointment, I've tried the North Star mod for Titanfall 2, I've tried going back to Apex. Shit man, I downloaded a game called FPS Chess, which I am fairly certain was a Coding 101 class project for a college student. Damn, dude, I can't fill this void that Splitgate left because there's nothing truly like it. But that's just it, right? I can't fill the void that Splitgate's left because it hasn't left one yet. Sure, there may not be any esports left or battle passes to complete, but hey, I'm literally one challenge off from the gold sniper, albeit the hardest one. But that being said, maybe I should go for all gold weapons. Or hell, maybe I should try to get every skin in the game. And I still want to speedrun Carmen Station. I'm like 2 seconds off from a top 10 placement in the world. I've only ever had one top 10 record before and it lasted all of 24 hours. Maybe I'd go for a top 10 world record in every race. And sure, maybe there's no incentive to climb the ranked ladder like there is in races, but maybe that's all the more reason to climb it. If most of the pros have stopped playing ranks, then what's stopping me from grinding to champion? Maybe I should get really good at this game so I can just stomp on kids in Splitgate 2 right off the rip. And shit, man, there's still about 1,000 people playing this game on average on Steam alone. It's not like I can't get any matches. Oh my god, there are actually still reasons to play this game. I feel incredibly thankful that I stumbled upon Splitgate. This game has scratched an itch that I have had for years now that I didn't even realize I had until it was scratched. I'm so thankful for 1047 in their product, and I'm so thankful that they didn't go corporate and bend the knee to some dipshit publishers in suits that didn't know what the hell a video game is, just trying to make money. I'm thankful for Astro Gaming, Play Beyond, and the 8 esports orgs that put their money and faith into the pro scene. I'm thankful for the community, you, for sticking around with this game, even though Halo Infinite dropped when it was at its most popular. And just because development is done does not mean that I am done. And I would encourage you to do the same. Because Splitgate is special. And a game this special don't come around too often. Thank you for watching.